When pain and sorrow weigh us down, be near to us, O Lord. Forgive the weakness of our faith, and bear us up within your peaceful word. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, what God has ready for those who love him. Spirit of love, come give us the mind of Jesus. Teach us the wisdom of God.
Welcome to your cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sakowitz. Special thanks once again to Mark Teresi and David Jonas for providing wonderful, beautiful music week in and week out. So Mark and David, thank you from the bottom of my heart. The music is fantastic. Thank you. Special thanks to Father Mark, producer Smolka, who again does such a great job week in and week out with this whole production, spends a lot of time with B-roll, doing the photography in the cathedral, putting this whole thing together. So Father Mark, thank you very, very much. I truly appreciate. You're a great priest, love what you do, and keep up the great work. A woman in a supermarket is following a grandfather and his badly behaved 3-year-old grandson. He's acting terribly. It's obvious to this woman that Grandpa has his hands full with his child screaming for candy in the candy aisle, cookies in the cookie aisle, and ice cream in the other aisles. Meanwhile, Grandpa is working his way around, saying in a very controlled voice, "Easy, William. We won't be long. Easy, William. We won't be long. Easy, boy." Another outburst, and she hears the grandpa calmly say, "It's okay, William. Just a couple more minutes. We'll be out of here. Hang in there, boy." At the checkout, the little terror is throwing items out of the cart all over the store, and Grandpa says in a very controlled voice, "William, William, relax, buddy. Don't get upset. We'll be home in 5 minutes. Stay cool, William." Now, very impressed, the woman goes outside where Grandpa is loading his groceries and the boy into the car. She says to the elderly gentleman, "I know it's none of my business, but you were totally amazing in that store. I followed you around. I don't know how you do it or how you did it. That whole time, you kept your composure. And no matter how loud and disruptive he got, you just calmly kept saying things would be okay. William is very, very lucky to have you as a grandpa." "Thanks," said Grandpa, "but I'm William." The little bugger's name is Kevin. Father Mark likes that one. Did you see that coming, Mark? You didn't see it. That's one of my all-time favorite jokes. That's a keeper. Good way to start this Labor Day weekend. And by the way, blessed Labor Day to all you and your loved ones. How many times have you told someone, "Didn't you hear what I just said?" Or, still better, "Are you deaf or something?" Do I sometimes lose my cool or become unglued? The question, "Didn't you just hear what I said?" or "Are you deaf?" can really be translated as, "Don't you understand?" Think about that. Don't you understand? If I were to respond, "I see your point," or "I hear what you're saying," really translated means, "I understand." In today's gospel, this 23rd Sunday of Ordinary Time this weekend, the deaf man hears and understands what others cannot. The word spoken by God. Today's gospel is really our story. In some ways, each of us is the deaf man brought before Jesus. The miracle story is not necessarily to tell us what Jesus did, but rather who he was. And I am amused that if the man is cured, Jesus says to his followers, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. What this really means is that some of the people did not recognize Jesus or truly understand. It is in knowing the Lord that we come to understand who we are, and precisely in discovering who we are that we discover God. John Martin, a Maryknoll missionary priest, tells his following powerful story. When I went to see 84-year-old Maryknoll brother Rene Dawson at St. Teresa's residence, he was in the chapel praying. As we chatted, I told him, I'm trying to figure out what I should do with my next assignment when I leave this parish as a Maryknoll priest and then discern and pray my next assignment. Pondering a moment, Brother Rene said, do what God wants you to do. But sometimes I don't know what God wants me to do, replied Father Martin. God wants you to be close to him, Rene told him. Listen to God. Listen to God. We must listen. We must be open to understanding the Lord's ways, the way of Jesus, his values, his beliefs. His faithfulness must become our ways, responding to the poor, the homeless, the oppressed. The story of Jesus is our own story. The mystery of Jesus is no less than the mystery of being human. The gospel offers an invitation to enter life as fully as Jesus did. Jesus is God's pledge to us that the whole adventure of embracing life and becoming human is the way to God. Jesus is what we have all been called to become. Jesus is what all of us have been called to become. However, there are obstacles we put in the way that keeps us from truly opening our hearts to God and others. We throw roadblocks on our own path through life, which keeps us deaf to God's presence in our life and all around us. I'll mention only three, there are others, but I'll mention three obstacles that can leave us spiritually crippled. Number one, living in the past and letting the past drag you down. Always living with our head turned around and living in the past prevents us from moving forward. Just very briefly, if you go in your car, turn the ignition on, and start driving, but only look in the rearview mirror, you won't get far. You'll crash. You need a rearview mirror. But think about this. The rearview in a car is very small. The front windshield is huge. So we have a future, what's in front of us. We have a past, which we can't undo or bring back. But God is not found in the past or the future. God is found in the present moment, connecting the past with the future. Number two, afraid of the future. St. Francis de Sales wrote the following prayer to keep and help himself deal with his own persistent fears. Do not fear what may happen tomorrow. The same loving Father who cares for you today will care for you tomorrow and every day. Either he will shield you from suffering or he'll give you unfailing strength to bear it. Be at peace then. Be at peace then, and put aside all anxious thoughts and imaginings. Why spoil the present moment with anxiety and worry? Today is our only guarantee. The past is over, and the future will get here soon enough. Number three, God and happiness are not found out there someplace. Happiness is an inside job. It begins from within. Both what we run from and what we yearn for are within us. The late Joseph Cardinal Bernardin, who died in November of 1996, tells this wonderful story about his mother. At the time he told the story, his mom was about 90 years old in a nursing home. Several years ago, my dear mother, who lives in a wonderful nursing home, was attending Mass in the home's chapel. Seated next to Mom was the nun who cares for her. During the course of the Mass, Sister Barbara fell asleep for a moment. Mother noticed this, tugged on her arm, and said in a stage whisper that was heard all over the chapel, "What's the matter with you, sister? Wake up. Don't you believe in God?" True story. Epitha, be opened to life's possibilities and open to God's presence to life, realizing the key to life is to live for others. All is gift, all is gift. Give it away, live for others. Loving and serving in the Lord's name, especially the poor, the oppressed, those who have less. What other people think of me is becoming less and less important. What other people think of Jesus because of me is critical. May God bless all of you. A blessed and joyous Labor Day weekend. Create great memories. Go White Sox. We're in the September push before the playoffs. And Cubs, go Cubs. God bless you.
Holy God, we praise thy name. Lord of all, we bow before thee. All on earth thy scepter claim. All in heaven above adore thee. Infinite thy vast domain, everlasting is thy reign. Infinite thy vast